Okay, so this is the last take with me. I just don't like the way things look here. Next one's going to be with a sock puppet or something. Put the glasses on as a distraction. Hopefully that helps. So you're dealing with a narcissist, and in my case, particularly a lesser covert narcissistic personality disorder. And as far as human beings, probably the most treacherous. They bring harm to others with absolutely no idea what they're doing. Repercussions. I mean, the depth of some of the things that happened and the total lack of remorse or understanding is contemptful. Like, they walk among us. I had no idea. Like, it's shocking that human beings like this even exist. I mean, it's just yeah. Okay, so how I got clarity of my path and solved all sorts of dilemmas for myself, whether there's punishment, retribution, do I go no contact, all these questions you see people they've got in the net, there's all sorts of addressing all of this stuff. And I got a different idea that brought this clarity. Rise above it. It isn't about me. It isn't about her anymore. It becomes, God, I wish somebody had done this before me, because here's the thing. She's not going to change. She's not going to learn a darn thing, going to go through the court system, and it'll just seem like she's a victim to herself. So she's not going to change. Society has to understand, has to adapt. Family, everybody has to know that this person is capable of lying to the police with the intention of putting somebody in jail, filing false documents. The treatment of animals is this one. It was like minus 25, minus 35 with wind chill. If you live in Canada, you get that. This Jack Russell-like dog was put outside and left. This is the second time. And of course, she makes excuses that, things were going on. Well, she did, she forgot. Well, she never forgot her keys. She pick up groceries. She didn't, forget. There was no major memory thing. And this is the same time she was talking about getting rid of the dog because of my accusations of abuse of it. Yeah, kind of coincidental, eh? So anyway, this dog is just about dead. She comes home, tell her about it, and I don't think she looked at the dog. Like, it's just disgusting. I wish I could project the anger, the disgust somehow better to drive home the point that, like I said, they just walk among us, and it scares me. So you rise above it. Quick example. Let's say your involvement with a charity, you're going to do some good and, relatively significant for a number of people. Now, if I were to talk about it and brag about it, people say, well, that's sort of takes away from it. A real charity, a silent charity. No, that is totally irrelevant. It's how it affects other people. It's if for the greater good, it helps a lot of people. How I talk about it, whatever, I might look like an ass or whatever. My motivations may be questionable, whatever. Actually, I kind of think charities are helping is kind of selfish in a way. It doesn't matter. It's how it helps people, and in the end, that's all that matters, right? Society, protecting people, doing good, and not for myself. But so this is how this applies to my situation. Is I've decided it isn't about me, it isn't about her, it isn't about punishment, retribution, whether I go no contact. It takes all of that out of the equation, and then there's a path that if happens to be there's sort of interpreted as punishment, or something happens to her on her end, or whatever happens on my side, emotionally, financially, all that stuff, doesn't matter. So what I have to do, and it's my duty, and I wish somebody had done this before, and people stood up and they basically screamed from the rooftop that this person did this, they lied about this, I wish she was caught for every one of them. I mean, we sort of subtly within the family would talk about these things, and does she really believe what she's saying, and things like this, and there's no problem. But the depth of it, and the significant other, and me, people didn't have a clue what was going on. The lies, the deceptions, basically somebody trying to put you in jail, by lying. Everybody BS's. Like, honey, I paid the utility bill, and you didn't. You run down and pay it. You don't lie to basically have people incarcerated or to steal massive amounts of money or submit false documents to the courts and things like this. This is atrocious. And the crazy thing is, there were some documents submitted to the courts. Before this, there was a problem, and I went to the police and I said, what do I do? What do I do? And they said, if you go back to that house, you have to record every second of it. And I did. So I've got 3 months of recordings that basically cover the document affidavit she filed. 7 of the 11 paragraphs are recorded directly, and the depiction she gives is completely different. It's just a distorted, twisted, I don't know, it's disgusting crap. And the recordings depict a completely different thing. And yet she submitted this and still believes it. Like, it's just, anyway, I don't care to try and figure it out. It's whatever. I mean, whether she knows what she's doing or what happens, doesn't matter. My point is, you got to rise above this. I'm going to face everything in court. I want to get everything out there. There'll be civil action. When I counter the documents that she submitted to court, there'll be information in there that potentially the judge will forward to a prosecutor. She might end up with criminal charges. I'm not going to get into the details because it'd be too long. But there's also an event where basically there was an assault, not by her, but it was just sort of a more or less innocent person, where they could be in jail for manslaughter or murder because it involved a flight of stairs and basically getting grabbed around the throat. Didn't raise a hand because I couldn't because of it's a family member. I mean, but anyway, ended up going down the stairs. Could have broken my back or could be dead. And this person just says, well, you deserve what you get. Yeah, cool. Right. So your son's in jail for murder. I'm dead, or wheelchair, and you can justify all this. Is just disgusting. I mean, like I said, the depths of this is nuts. Okay, I'm getting a little emotional. This isn't the point. The point is rising above all this. So she's not going to change. How the charity thing applies is, it isn't about me, isn't about her. I got to get all this in the courts. Everybody's got to see it. Friends, family, police. So the next time she phones and blows just garbage out there, with the intention of putting somebody in jail, when yeah. So I got to do all these things. This is no contact. There's no, should I punish her? Should she be if she gets something in a divorce thing, rewarded for bad behavior? I don't care. The next person that's in my shoes has to be aware. Family has to be aware. If she can't adapt or learn to not be harmful, which she won't, because it's just not there. The wiring isn't there. It's just empty. She doesn't get it, never will. Then society has to adapt. Family has to adapt. The next guy in her life has to know, so that he doesn't go through the same thing as me. I mean, it's and that makes the path clear. Rise above it. I do what I do to help neutralize this person, because a lot of advice on the net is just kind of let it go, do this, do that, and heal yourself and save yourself. Well, suck it up, and you got to do something to protect people, so that the next person doesn't end up in a wheelchair or in jail unjustly for somebody who is just, their whole motive in life is completely selfish, and they would basically steal everything and see great harm come to you, and they would justify it. They just walk down the street whistling, like, it's well, you guys, I wish I spend time and talk about some of the absolutely twisted reactions and things that happen that you have that moment, the aha moment, and then all of a sudden you start noticing and thinking back about things, and you go, what type of person was I that I actually didn't see this, or that I put up with it? This basically, well, I mean, they're sociopaths and dangerous. I talked to our ex-husband, and he said, get her in a rearview mirror, or he says, I'm glad she's in a rearview mirror, and he said she's dangerous, and the way he said it, he didn't mean kind of lightly she's dangerous. He means she's dangerous, like in the real meaning. They walk among us. But take the high road, your path will be determined. It brought some peace of mind with me, whether there's punishment or what I do and all of this, and it brings clarity, and that's a tough thing, a great thing. For it took a while. Hopefully, what I said resonated with some people, especially those. I mean, some just aren't capable of. They got to do what they can to kind of just get away from it and heal. My way of healing, I pretty, kind of like to feel I do the right thing. Is kind of what I'm all about. And it's interesting. I was thinking about this. Honesty has value. And it isn't value sort of in the community spiritual sort of way. In my case, it actually I can apply a dollar figure to it. I had people trust me with money and many things like and more than relatively large amounts that I could do what I want. I mean, in the order of millions and stuff in my past and presently, my family just awesome people. And this wouldn't come to me if I was the other type of person. So honestly, honesty has value beyond what people realize. It can actually put a dollar figure to it, and you can put sort of the society thing that honesty is good. Yeah, it is good. But if you're kind of a greedy guy like me and a capitalist, it also has that type of value too, which is a nice side thing. And so sort of that honor and honesty thing is part of the reason why I feel it's my duty to kind of get it out there and do these things. Otherwise, I just can't sleep at night. That was 3/4 of what bothered me is that this is going to carry on. Not that I'm going to punish this person for this, but it's just everybody has to be prepared and see what's going on so that it doesn't happen. I mean, neutralize it. It's my duty and makes my path clear. Hopefully, this helps some people. Maybe a little more like my personality type, where you figure you got to do the right thing, and it seems important to you. Other people, it might be just sort of saving yourself or something. But if it resonates with people like me and makes a path clear and helps, great. Okay, hopefully that's clear as mud, and some people kind of got something out of that. Thanks.